Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm glad you asked. I want to take just a moment and talk to the audience here real quick. Guys, sorry I wasn't here last night and that I didn't give any notice that I wasn't going to be here. Sometimes it sucks to be me. And when I say that, I mean physically. Mentally, my life is pretty good, man. It's just the physical part that sucks. There's nothing that can be done for it. Not looking for any sympathy. Just letting you know, sometimes, guys, it happens. I'm fine. I didn't fall or anything. Just my body punishing me for existing, which is nice. But I am good. I hope you guys are too. And we're going to do a show. We're going to catch up on some of the news that we missed because there's been some wow kind of stuff going on.
Right?
I've talked many times about my love for the First Amendment, Jack, and I watched our Congress shit all over it the other day.
Yep.
Just roll it up, set it on fire, and just piss on it. Like, what the actual hell am I watching? So Matt Taibbi, and I forgot his name, Schellenberger. What's his first name?
Larry.
Larry Schellenberger?
I don't know.
Schellenberg? I
I'm
forget
just
how.
making shit up now.
The guys from the Twitter files, they get called up in front of the subcommittee that Jordan was in charge of, and they have Representative Plaskett, who, by the way, is not a voting member of Congress. Did you know that, Jack?
Oh.
She represents, I think, the Virgin Islands. So if she's on a committee, she can vote on the committee. But when it comes to actual votes in Congress, she has no vote. Buddha, thank you so much. You said, stay healthy, brother. I appreciate that. I do as much as I can. Just remember, guys, even if I'm in a bad way, I'm always in a good way in my brain, and that's how I cope. But thank you for the donation. We are brought to you by you guys. Hit the like button, share with your friends, your family, that bitch you hate. And if you would, consider donating to Jack or myself. Link is at the top of your YouTube chat. It's also in the description for both YouTube and the Rumble. And occasionally the wonderful folks in our chat throw it through chat for us.
Indeed.
So Matt Taibbi and Schellenberger, I forget his fucking name. They go before this committee to talk about the Twitter files. And instead of actually discussing what was in the Twitter files, the Democrats decided to take this moment to show their disdain for the Constitution.
That sounds about right.
They took this moment to let everybody know that they don't give a fuck about the Constitution. They love to throw out the word Democrat, the Democrats, or sorry, democracy, because they're Democrats. We got to save the democracy. And for some reason, Plunkett, when she gives her opening statement, she goes into Tucker Carlson stuff. I don't really understand what that had to do with what was going on here.
Well, Tucker's an enemy of the people, you see.
Yeah, and she starts off very mad, Jack, because a new Twitter file dropped that morning. And hey, did you guys get that in advance? Jim Jordan's like, it's on Twitter. But did you guys get it before we did? And they're like,
it's on Twitter.
On Twitter. Tucker Carlson, what does it have to do with Twitter? Well, what she was trying to get at is that the Republicans are trying to frame it so that things aren't how they really seem. Seriously, that's what she was trying to get at. And it came off very bad. She looked horrible. She calls Matt, and apparently it's Michael Schellenberger. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Calls them both so-called journalists. Both of them have been journalists for more than 20 years. And neither one of them is right-wing.
No, they're both lefties.
They write the kind of shit we would make fun of normally.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fucking committee, man, it was bad. I watched the whole thing, Jack. It's like 2.5 hours long. And well, we have one clip from it we were going to show. This is Representative Garcia. I still don't know how this woman ended up with the last name Garcia. I find it suspect.
Well, I mean, if Whoopi Goldberg can be Whoopi Goldberg.
All right. So at the start of this on your screen, there's going to be Mr. Schellenberger. I believe it was the fourth or fifth of the Twitter files is where he jumps in because Matt does them. I think, what's her name?
Barry Weiss.
Barry Weiss, thank you. She did one.
Uh-huh.
And then Tiabi did another one. So maybe he was 4. But he's been doing them ever since. And so these two got called up in front of Congress. Let's make sure our volume is all the way up. All right.
In your discussion, in your answer, you also said that you were invited by a friend, Barry Weiss.
My friend Barry Weiss.
So this friend works for Twitter, or what is her?
She's a journalist.
This Barry Weiss wrote one of the Twitter files. And the fact that this idiot didn't even know who Barry Weiss was when she's asking this question shows you she has no business even asking these questions.
Well, she also didn't know what a Substack was.
That's true. And you know what? I'll give him, I give him the Substack. That's fine. But how do you not know one of the principal people in the conversation?
Well, nobody said she was smart.
Sir, I didn't ask you a question. I'm now asking Mr. Schellenberger a question. Please
Yes,
do
ma'am.
not
Barry Weiss
interrupt.
is a journalist.
Yeah, so what happened there is she's asking Mr. Schellenberger there, and Matt Tiabi like, she's a journalist. I didn't ask you a question. What a twat. And frankly, we saw this over and over again. The Democrats were just openly hostile.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this is narrative destruction. They have to be.
I can never take Barry Weiss seriously after the Rogan interview. The Rogan interview was not a good look for Barry Weiss.
I'm sorry, sir.
She's a journalist.
She's a journalist. So you work in concert with her?
Yeah.
Do you know when she first was contacted by Mr. Musk?
I don't know.
You don't know. So you're in this as a threesome?
They said, what? Do you think she knows what she said?
I don't think she knows she used. I think she knows the word threesome as a group and not as a sexual term because she seems like she's very dumb.
There was many more people involved than that.
There was many more people involved with it.
Yeah, which, by the way, if you'd read the Twitter files, you would know that. I mean, Tiabi pretty much writes that at the end of every Twitter file. By the way, hey, check out these other people who've been doing this.
Yeah. I don't think any of these Dems read any of the Twitter files at all.
No, I mean, there's stuff in the Twitter file. At one point, Plaskett, was it Plaskett? Yeah, she starts arguing with Jim Jordan because one of the Democrats says they never told Twitter to take somebody down. And Jim Jordan goes, a point of order, here's a thing where they actually did it. And Plaskett's like, do you have the record of that? And he's like, yeah, it's right fucking here.
Duh.
And she's like, oh, well, whatever. It was just they were being fucking babies. It wasn't, look, sometimes in these kind of hearings, you'll see hostile questions. It's part of the deal. But these were nonsensical, hostile questions. And twice, the woman we just saw, Garcia, and Plaskett, who's on the thumbnail of the video, guys, questioned Tiabi, basically asking him for his sources for the story.
Yeah.
And he told Plaskett, because she was the first one to ask, he's like, I'm not revealing my sources. And then Garcia comes back and he's like, I am not revealing my sources. Like, oh, but that's basically because they're asking, is Elon Musk the one who gave it to you? He's like, I'm not revealing my sources. And they go, well, that's as much as admitting that he's your source. Really? So when the FBI says that they won't confirm or deny that there were FBI agents in the crowd on January 6th causing problems, that's them basically admitting it, huh?
Yep. That's what I learned today.
That's what I learned as well.
Real quick. Thank you, John. That bitch is whiter than I am Polish Irish. I know, right?
So look, I don't have a problem with hostile questions, but my problem was with their hostility towards the First Amendment. And there was another guy, I forget his name. He's a black gentleman who's on the Democrats with a bald head. You should be able to find him. I want to say his name's Allred, but don't quote me on that. He asked Matt if, hey, should this tweet have been taken down? And he's like, that's really not for me to say. He goes, this tweet should be taken down because it's hate speech. You're a member of Congress, of the United States Congress. The idea of the word hate speech shouldn't even be in your fucking brain.
Oh, no. See, have you seen Garcia's tweet regarding this whole interaction?
No.
She said, to hide their inability to legislate, Republicans have launched a dangerous political circus that sole purpose is to inject extremist politics into our justice system. I will continue to fight extreme MAGA Republican lies, misinformation, and outright conspiracy theories.
That is a conspiracy theory, sweetheart.
Yeah, extreme MAGA Republican lie. Yeah.
At one point, what's her name? Plaskett, the ranking Democrat on the committee, who again is not a voting member of Congress, says that Matt Taibbi and yes, guys, I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong. It's not going to change. And Michael Schellenberger were a danger to people they disagreed with. And the reason she said this is because the other day they had Yoel Roth up there and he's like, because of the hate that I got, I had to move. And I got so many people that said really mean things to me on Twitter.
Yeah, maybe don't censor people for no reason and then shit all over them and call them liars.
Look, man,
like that sort of thing.
If you don't think that Matt and Michael have gotten a whole bunch of hate, then you don't pay attention to Twitter.
Yeah,
they have.
You've never been on Twitter if you don't think somebody's getting hate.
And Matt Taibbi, he's asked about it. And he's like, well, I mean, yeah, we online shit. He didn't move. Yoel Roth, though, he just, I had to move. And so she called these two guys a clear danger to people they disagree with. Well, they disagreed with Yoel Roth because he's a censorious twat.
Yeah.
And by the way, I agree. Yeah, Elon called him a pedo. We said, yeah, look, people pointed out that this guy has a couple of questionable, you're talking about Yoel Roth, a couple of questionable things that he's written in the past. One of which asked whether or not it's ever okay for a teacher to be dating one of their students. And we're not talking about in college. So he got mad that, his publicly available stuff was brought up. It cast aspersions on me that just weren't true. Like, bitch, did you write it? Because it sounds like you wrote it. It's got your name on it. You haven't denied it ever. You never denied that you wrote that shit. It's very much like the stuff we've seen coming out of the Tucker Carlson video releases. Have you seen anybody deny that those videos are real?
Nope.
They can't because they're real. Instead, you're giving a false narrative. No, they're completing the narrative. We're getting to see the whole picture. That doesn't mean that bad stuff didn't happen on there or that there aren't shitheads on Twitter, for fuck's sake. It just means we get to see everything that's happening, which we should be, and Americans should be cheering for. I hold the First Amendment very dear to my heart. Those of you out there who love the Second Amendment, that's how much I love the First Amendment. And to watch members of our Congress get up there and shit on it, and be like, no, you shouldn't be able to say things. Fuck you. You should be removed from office because you swear to uphold the Constitution. How fucking dare you? And then to turn around and try to make, oh my God, we're just protecting people. These two guys, they're very dangerous. Dangerous? All they did is point out that these motherfuckers at Twitter were working with our federal government to silence Americans. That's not dangerous. What's dangerous is what he's exposing. Sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but seriously, the First Amendment, that is my boo.
Oh, I understand.
That's my ooh-woo right there. I can't.
Yeah, every time you look at the First Amendment, you hear ooh-woo!
I do. I get a boner when I read that thing. Little pre-cum comes out. I mean, I like it a lot. I believe the ability to speak your mind is so important. And to have the government interfere, oh, well, we didn't actually tell them to do it. Really? Why was the FBI even involved with free speech on Twitter? Why were they even involved with like, oh, this guy said mean words? That's not their fucking job. And then you have Biden bitching because, oh my God, the Republicans want to take money away from the FBI. Seems like they got time to waste. Seems like there's just too many of them. They can't catch pedophiles. They still can't figure out what the fuck happened at Epstein Island, but they sure as fuck know whether or not I said something or retweeted somebody they didn't like.
Look, Monkey, they don't have the manpower to investigate those weird crimes you keep talking about. Like motive for the Vegas shooter. Who has time for that shit? There's Twitter things to censor.
There might be people breaking Twitter rules. Half of the stuff, and this is brought up during this hearing, half of the stuff these guys were talking to Twitter about, like, oh, we think this violates your rules. Why are you the fucking rule police for Twitter? Why is that what our FBI is doing? And why the fuck isn't the president mad about that? The president of the United States should be pissed off that that's how the Justice Department is spending their fucking time.
Look, he's pissed off they switched out the reruns of Perry Mason for Matlock. He doesn't have time. It's pudding day. He has no idea where he is. Plus, he's corrupt as fuck, so he doesn't give a shit about the FBI.
Did you play that wizard game? Do you have a phobia? I mean, I have a fear of heights and I'm claustrophobic, but I don't think that had anything to do with me playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Scum says raw video is always deceptive. I mean, it can be. You might not get the whole message from it, but when you're only getting half of the raw video, or in the case of January 6th, 139,000th, maybe. We're not getting the message anyway. I think they misuse phobia quite a lot. They do, and it started with the homophobia thing because nobody was afraid of gay people. But yeah, so phobia just became the thing. They actually changed the definition instead of it being something you fear. It's something you fear or don't like. Look it up. They did. It's actually kind of a pain in the ass. It's one of the first words that they really changed that has fucked our language up, Jack.
Well, they got to do something. They like fucking up our language.
This week on To Catch a Predator, the FBI can't seem to do it. Good night. Yeah, they had to have fucking, ABC News go do Catch a Predator for them. Because they just couldn't find them fuckers who are trying to bang kids. And then the other day, we talked about that guy who gets busted trying to bang a 9-year-old. Sorry, he just wanted nudes from her. What's he get? Slap on the hand. Yeah. Meanwhile, hey, we're going to throw you in jail because you walked to the Capitol on January 6th. That one lady got 60 days in prison. 60 days in prison. Not at the local county. Just for going in the building that day. She didn't break shit. She didn't hit nobody. Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? I'm sorry, Jack.
That's a trespassing misdemeanor at best.
Yeah, it's a federal misdemeanor. She got 60 days in prison for that. Why did my phone just reset?
I don't know.
That's weird. Huh. I did not tell it to do that. Our government is fucked up, and often, this is why I do like watching C-SPAN stuff. It's amazing the kind of shit you will find these assholes doing. Like this, trampling the First Amendment because we don't like that you guys pointed out that the FBI was playing moderator for Twitter, because that's what they were doing. Spending your tax dollars on. Anyhow. What was the other story I wanted to talk about? Oh, Naomi. Did I close that? I did not. If you guys don't know who Naomi Wolf is, we don't talk about her. She's not that important anymore, Jack. But there was a time.
I think we've talked about her once or twice.
Yeah, there was a time that this bitch was all over the place. She was on. Yeah. She was a regular guest with Bill Maher back in the politically incorrect days. And she blew up by blaming people for rape who there's no possible proof that anything happened. One of her college professors. Big feminist chickie poo. Far lefty. The kind of person that normally we'd make fun of on this show. And I have before, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we made fun of this bitch. But I woke up this morning and I didn't get myself a gun. Did you get the reference? Anyway, I see this on Twitter. Dear conservatives, I apologize. I was like, all right, is she being facetious? Is she blowing smoke up my ass? Was this going to be one of those I apologize that you guys suck kind of things? It's not. It's really not. And it was kind of shocking to read, Jack. There's no way to avoid this moment. The formal letter of apology from me to conservatives and to those who put America first everywhere. It's tempting to sweep this confrontation with my own gullibility under the rug, to move on without ever acknowledging that I was duped, and that as a result, I made mistakes in judgment, and that these mistakes, multiplied by tens of thousands and millions on the parts of people just like me, hurt millions of other people like you in existential ways. To this point, she had my attention, Jack.
Yep.
Because this is not I'm sorry you guys suck. This is I owe you a full-throated apology, and she delivers. She goes through here and talks about all the stuff, and largely it seems to be based on the Tucker Carlson stuff. Like that was the last straw that made her write this letter. But she goes into a whole bunch of bullshit that we've all seen. We've been talking about. We've been called racist. We've been called conspiracy theorists for.
Usually we're right.
And yeah, I'm still waiting to be wrong, Jack. I keep waiting. And look, occasionally we get something wrong, like I pronounced Matt Tiabi's name wrong. But on the major stories, Jack, I will put my and your assessment against the major news corporations every day of the week.
Yeah, we're right more than they're right.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. The FBI, CIA, DHS, and IRS need to be abolished. We have too many alphabet organizations doing nothing but fuck us in the ass and destroy our life. I agree. Not going to happen, but I agree.
Thank you, Dragon Mage, who says, I bet the next phobia word is pedophobic.
You know what's sad is, I know that's a joke, but is it?
Is it? Yeah, exactly.
Also, thank you, Evolved Potato. Wait, so the FBI spent money on trampling free speech, so the U.S. government has spent more money on decreasing free speech in the world than it has spreading it.
Yes.
Yep, that's what they do now.
They actually have backed the notion of hate speech, which is not a thing in America. Sorry, folks. You can be as mad as you want about that. Hate speech is not a thing we recognize.
Yeah, Supreme Court ruled on that a while ago.
Plus, I mean, they had in that hearing, I love what Matt said when he says, we have the right to be wrong. We do.
Yeah.
We have the right to lie as long as we're not under oath. Like, you can hate George Santos for how he got elected and everything, but at least when it comes to the lying part of what he did, you know, there's some other questions there, Jack. But the lying part, not illegal. You can lie. Perfectly legal, as long as you're not under oath. So, or you know, talking to the police, that kind of stuff. There are certain places you're supposed to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But like, even you can lie to the police as long as it's not material to the case. Anyhow, the proximate cause of this letter of apology is the airing 2 nights ago of excerpts of tens of thousands of hours of security camera footage from the United States Capitol taken on January 6, 2021. The footage was released by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to Fox News commentator Tucker Carlson, and she has a link for it. You know, guys, I'm going to throw this into chat because we're not reading the whole thing, but I do recommend that you do because it is so weird to see, but it is a wonderful example of the tribal thinking that's going on with so many people right now. And there's one part of this I really want to read, Jack. It's down near the bottom. See, it's a long piece. That's why we're not reading the whole fucking thing. I think it's even still further down. Well, here's where she lists a lot of the lies she believed in. Thank you, Cryptic 90 for no hate speech. Oh, your labs alert sucks. Sorry about that.
Have you checked your labs lately?
I haven't heard one go off for this.
Well, if the alert sucks, then
I'm going over there. I just took it to mean he didn't like the sound.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
I didn't know that.
Oh no, he's right. Cryptic, thank you. They need to do this for all media platforms. Susan Tube, I mean, MoTube needs to answer for censoring. Oh, I agree with you, but they're never going to. They will never actually do that because look what happened with Twitter. The only reason Twitter did it is because they got rid of most of the people involved. It's not like the folks at Twitter actually suddenly got a conscience. They just all got new jobs when they were fired. Thank you, Snubberth. I have to disagree. I think PETA will become the next Nazi. It seems to be the trend around Twitter, usually over girls' faces or hairstyles. I haven't seen that. I do think there's a lot of people who are throwing that around and throwing groomer around way too much.
Yeah, it's diluting it.
Yeah. It's actually helping with what they're going to be doing. Anyway, Republicans concern. Oh, go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
Thank you, ATF. We are coming to shoot your dogs if you don't shut up. Ha! I have no dogs and no children, so there.
Over on the Streamlabs, it worked that time. Sorry, Cryptic. Thank you, Spartan John, who says, back to work after 3 months. Load up. After 3 months off caring for my newborn son. Glad to have you guys here to keep me awake. Back to the beginning. Thank you for that feminist $12. Really appreciate it, my friend. Okay, so sorry, Republicans and conservatives. I also believed wholesale. So much else that has since turned out not to be as I was told it was by NPR, MSNBC, and the New York Times. By the way, those are three, other than MSNBC, I'm gonna take them out of the equation. NPR and New York Times, by a lot of people, are still seen as very valid news sources. Fair and balanced, if you will. I believe the stories about Hunter Biden's laptops were Russia propaganda. Remember, Brian Stelter told us the news never said that. Dozens of former Intel officials said so. Johns Hopkins University said so. Trump specifically cited a laptop that contained emails allegedly belonging to Hunter Biden, said CNN fact check, with plenty of double quote marks. I believe this all till it was debunked. I believe that President Trump's campaign colluded with Russians until that assertion was dropped. I believe that President Trump was a Russian asset because the legacy media I read said so. I believed in the entire Steele dossier until I didn't, because it fell apart.
So she's a gullible sucker.
Yeah, she mentioned at the very beginning of it, she mentions, I'm apologizing. This is my own gullibility. But here's the thing. She's not unusual.
No, it's the norm on that side. Real quick, I gotta grab these. Thank you, Spartan John, for that feminist donation. Hey, Jack, hope you're doing well, and thanks for the entertainment here and on your channel. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the shows. And we try to entertain as well as amuse. And thank you also, not ATF. You're a cat then. You're not getting any pussy while we're around. Well, that's just
sucks.
rude.
Was there, in fact, an infamous P tape? So many other bad things were being said about the man. Why not? And by the way, she's listing stories for all of these. It's not like she's just throwing it out there. She's bringing receipts, as the kids say, Jack. She's spilling the tea.
Oh.
I believe that President Trump instigated the riot at the Capitol because I did not know that his admonition to his supporters to assemble peacefully and patriotically had been deleted from all of the news coverage that I read. Because of the lies such as these in legacy media, lies which I and millions of others believed, half of our nation's electorate was smeared and delegitimized, and I myself was misled. It damages our nation when legacy media put words in the mouth of presidents and former presidents and call them traitors or criminals without evidence. Now, she goes on to say some things about who she is and what she still believes. But this is the part I really wanted to get to about that. She says, I don't like President Trump. Do I not? Who knows? I've been lied to about him so much for so long, I can't tell whether my instinctive aversion is simply the habituated residue of years of being on the receiving end of lies. This is what we call somebody waking up. The light is going on, Jack.
Yes. Instead of being woke, she's well rested.
Is this Naomi Wolf? Yes. This is Naomi Wolf. Like I said, when I read this, I'm like, there's no fucking way this came from Naomi Wolf. She is a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, hardcore lefty, feminist, Me Too. She's all of that. And because of the Tucker Carlson story, she suddenly realizes she's been lied to and starts counting all of the other lies that she's heard. But I really like that part about Donald Trump at the end there. I don't like Donald Trump, or do I? I honestly can't tell with all the lies I've been told.
I'm questioning everything in my life.
Well, at this point, if you were her and you believed all that shit and all of it fell apart, if you have a rational brain, you should be questioning everything.
Yeah, should be, but I mean, have you seen some of these clowns?
Well, that's where the whole tribalism thing gets us in so much trouble.
Yeah.
Like, well, Trump still sucks. At least she has the awareness to go, maybe he doesn't. Most of them would be like, yeah, sure, all of that was lies, but he still said his father was born in Germany. You mean when he misspoke when he meant his grandfather? He said burgers were stacked a mile high.
Yeah, because nobody's ever made an exaggeration like that before.
Seal, thank you so much. He says white pilled like Russell Brand. Look, I don't think she's going to suddenly overnight become a Republican. I don't. But this is the kind of thing that'll wake people up, at least to the fact that they're being lied to, which is what needs to happen. Did you just say Naomi Wolf has a rational brain? She's showing hints of one. Does she actually have one? I mean, like I said, I don't expect her to change her mind on politics, but you don't even really have to do that.
Hang on, real quick. Thank you, Furry Kitten. Who the hell believed in the Steele dossier? I'm a psychotic. Even I have limitations. Well, see, you're not a sucker, Furry. So, some people are just dumb, or they desperately want it to be true.
Yeah. I mean, and you see that a little bit on the conservative side. You guys aren't free of that, but for the most part, we see it, especially with Trump, man. It didn't matter what they said. I saw somebody just the other day, like, Donald Trump raped a little girl and she was going to sue him, but she got scared out of it by Trump and what they were going to do to her. No, it was a bullshit lawsuit. And as soon as he actually got elected, they dropped it.
Yeah.
Because all it was a smear campaign to try to get him out from an unnamed person. No, he raped a little girl. There's no proof of that anywhere.
Look, your hate facts have no place here. Also, thank you, Cryptic. I was making love to this girl. She started crying. I said, "Are you going to hate yourself in the morning?" She said, "No, I hate myself now."
Fair enough.
Well, as long as you finish, she can hate herself. You can work through it with more sex. Like, look, you may hate yourself now, but next time we do this, it'll be a little less. You'll be numb to the
You'll get
suffering.
desensitized.
Yeah. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Well, her having a rational brain is surprising since she is a woman. And we all know women and rational don't belong together because of their tiny girl brains. That, sir, is a fact. And I cannot dispute your scientific analysis. Thank you.
Dangerous brings up a good one. He said 1 in 3 women were raped crossing the border. It was only 31%. That is literally a fact check we saw.
Yeah, as opposed to the 33% he was saying. Oh my God, he was so far off.
Yeah, because he rounded it up to a third, and they're like, no, that's 33%. 33.3333 repeating, actually. He lied. No, he didn't, you fucking assholes. But here's the thing. This is what happens when you get into this tribal mentality. Both sides can be wrong, Jack. But what we're seeing from the left is cultish. It's cultish. No matter how many times they're lied to, they don't wake up. That's why seeing somebody like Naomi fucking Wolf going, yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I owe y'all an apology for this. Blew my fucking mind. I would never. If you told me that, Jack, I'd be like, you fucking lie.
I know, right? Who would believe that about Naomi Wolf? She's so dyed-in-the-wool lefty.
Yeah. And what changed it was seeing the actual footage from January 6th. Yes, there were shitbags there, and every one of them belongs in fucking prison. The rest of them don't. Naomi in that article even talks about times when people would actually be there. The bonus army, you know what that is?
Oh, the 1930s
Yeah.
World War I fighters. Yeah, they got murdered.
The bonus army, it's a bunch of people who were promised bonuses from the federal government and they weren't given to them. And so they went and protested on the lawn of the Capitol.
And they got steamrolled by a bunch of tanks.
Yeah, they brought in it was a McCarthy ordered Patton to clear them out.
Yeah, and they went in there and killed a bunch of them.
But yeah, I'm bopping you when Monkey isn't looking, Shio. Nuts, I'm always going to take your side. You do you, sweetie. Like, come on, sweetie, you got power around here. You know why she has power? Because she doesn't abuse it. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. Well, we never see her abuse it, so that means she can do it when you're not looking.
That's fair.
And I really don't give a crap. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, for the record, you ever come to me whining about nuts, I'm going to be like, go away.
Stargazer, she does what she wants.
Yeah. Whatever. She does what she wants.
Mm-mm.
I hope more people see this and open their eyes to this. I'm not asking them to become conservative. just stop being such fucking over dramatic shitbags. Just stop.
Dramatic. Oh my God, how can you say that?
And realize that your press right now is the worst it has ever been. I mean, we actually coined the phrase yellow journalism for this kind of shit back in the, and we make that look like it was good reporting.
Look, that term was to slander the Asians, obviously. That was very anti-Asian journalism. No, it really wasn't, guys. I'm just kidding.
Monkey, why aren't you noticing Tucker isn't playing any more January 6th footage? For the record, I haven't seen any Tucker since the last that we watched together. Does he need to show more?
Apparently he had promised more. So there was supposed to be some additional segments, but he hasn't done it. And I think that was because Fox got a bunch of pushback. So they made him change it.
They also might be, look, they're digging through 40,000 hours.
Yeah, his team is probably like 10 people.
So, look, I'm not defending the guy. I don't know. And it is very possible that his bosses were like, nah, bro. I mean, you literally had the head of the Senate, the second in command of the Senate, and a whole bunch of fucking other senators like, how dare you? You should fire him. That is a lot of pressure. Now, what they should do is tell them to go fuck themselves. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, to answer your question, I haven't seen Tucker. I don't watch Tucker on a regular basis. Actually, what we watched here, Jack, is probably more Tucker than I've watched in my entire life.
Wow.
That's not true. I did used to watch Crossfire, so I probably watched a couple of half-hour episodes. I never really liked him on Crossfire, though. I like Novak. Who was it with Novak? Before Tucker.
I don't remember.
Shit. Yeah, but I used to watch that one all the time. Comrade Kitty, thank you. Nuts has the sword of Grayskull. I have the power. Indeed. And Cryptic, thank you, says, I am offended.
Well, hey, I didn't come up with yellow journalism or yellow peril, so you can be offended at the 30s all you want.
I say you're not offended. Stop it. How dare you?
Yeah, I didn't know it. I really don't think it's possible to offend Cryptic.
Say, you know what? Just for that, Cryptic, I'm going to take Mickey's side in advance of the next time you're mean to Mickey.
You were going to do that anyway, weren't you?
I was, but this is preemptive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Real quick. Thank you, Furry Kitten. Last time I found pretty young lass that was up for sex. I was disgusted by her horrendous language. The things coming out of her mouth were foul. Suppose I should let them go through infant school first. Wow. That was dark.
I don't care about that one. Dark Resurrect. Oh, that's a longer one. I got to refresh it over here. I have a couple of things. Oh. Do I want to watch that one? I kind of do.
I don't know, do you?
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, coming through that feminist $12. Yay. My request of people is simple. I do not expect you to magically convert to one side or the other. What I do expect is independent thought. Stop being sheep. Yes. And when you're given proof that somebody has fucking lied to you, don't just push it along like, just because of that doesn't mean it. If somebody's proven to be lying to you over and over and over again, why the hell are you believing them about anything?
Because most people are sheep and refuse to admit that they're wrong. They would rather jump off the cliff with all the other lemmings than admit that they made a mistake. Because we live in a society that cannot admit to their own errors and correct accordingly. That's seen as like a weakness of some kind.
All right. We got to talk about Cori Bush. Who I just will remind you is under investigation by the ethics committee because she gave $60,000 to her husband from her campaign fund for security, and he is not a licensed security contractor. These people are dirty, man. They're just fucking dirty. And I'm tired of them. Cori Bush, one of the add-ons to the squad, she came in a little bit later. She got some stuff on her mind. This is a discussion about the, believe it or not, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, Jack. Yeah, that's what this committee is discussing, and well, we'll just see where it goes.
But my Republican colleagues have unironically invited for-profit think tank and oil titans whose expertise is in maximizing profits.
It's oil, not oil. And
Shush, it's her birthday.
I love her talking about people maximizing profits as she has her gold cup here.
Yeah, and her paid-off boyfriend.
Especially at the expense of our Black, our brown, and our indigenous neighbors' health, safety, and well-being. One of these so-called energy experts is a philosopher who has previously espoused white supremacist views. For instance, in his 2000 college newspaper, he wrote, quote, "The African and American Studies Department has 23 classes. In many of these classes, African culture is presented not as inferior to Western culture, but as on equal footing with it."
All right, I want to remind you, this is a hearing about the refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That's what they're talking about, is all of that oil that we sold when our gas prices were really high, and we sold it to China and the French. We need to refill it. That's there in case of wartime or in case of national tragedy, in case we need it. And she's like, this dude said that African culture is not equal to Western culture.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. Not all cultures are equal. You fucking idiots who keep saying that stuff, you're retarded.
Yeah. Not all cultures are beautiful. Some behead people for not wearing their hijab.
Some cultures eat people.
Yeah. Is that beautiful? Huh? Is it? Is it? Why won't you go there then? You babies.
In other departments, the same is done with Latin American, Indian, and American Indian culture, end quote.
Yes, American Indian culture is vastly inferior to Western culture. It is. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. Go live by their actual rules. Go live the Native American lifestyle. And I'm not talking the Americanized American Indian lifestyle. Go throw on some moccasins.
No. Fuck that. I'm not taking a canoe everywhere.
Go freeze your ass off in a tent made out of animal skins. All right.
Quote. When confronted about these views over 2 decades later, rather than disavow them, he doubled down on this narrative saying, quote, "It has nothing to do with skin color. I was arguing that those cultures overall are inferior to Western culture."
They are.
We are not inferior.
Sweetheart, you live in America. You've only ever lived in America. You live in Western culture. He's not talking about you. Did you catch that? We are not inferior. Bitch, you're like from the south side of Chicago or some shit. You didn't grow up in the bush. You didn't grow up on the plains of the Serengeti.
Her name implies that she did grow up on the bush.
No. Her name implies she married somebody with the last name Bush.
Oh, okay.
Her name implies that she's a 70s porno down there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That would surprise me if that were actually the case.
We are not inferior. Well, since you're Western, you're kind of making his point. But anyway.
Oh, hang on.
Any culture.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Ghana. We do get a lot of losing NFL shirts. That's true. They do, and they print both, and then the winner shirts go on sale, and the other ones get sent to places like Ghana.
Culture. Speaking as a descendant of one of those cultures.
You might be a descendant of that culture, but that doesn't make you that culture. I am a descendant of the Irish, Jack, and the Native Americans. You know how much my lifestyle actually reflects my ancestors?
None, because you weren't fucking raised there.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't sit around bitching about potatoes and being wasted all the time.
No.
I'm Scotch Irish, so I'm not drunk all the time. I'm not ending up in bar brawls. I don't do heroin, and I don't wear a skirt. So I don't know what to tell you. But where my lineage came from has absolutely fuck all to do with that. I'm a descendant. I'm offended on behalf of a bunch of dead people. Get over it. They don't care. They're dead.
You have enough money, sweetheart, that you could immigrate to one of those wonderful countries. I invite you to do so. I know you won't. I know you're not going to go to some third world shithole. I know you're not going to go run the plains of the Serengeti. You're not going to do shit. You're going to sit here in America and I have to live this way because of the system. You're going to enjoy the fruits of Western civilization. Why? Because it's the best. Anyhow, I just wanted to play that. Now, the guy does get a chance. You know what? Just we'll give him a chance to respond as we let this stupid bitch talk.
This is the witness the Republicans invited to discuss issues of energy security.
What the fuck would that have to do with energy security, sweetheart? Even if he was a blazing racist, he could still have interesting things to say about energy security.
You know what constitutes energy security on the Serengeti? Burning poop to stay warm.
This woman is an idiot who somehow thinks living in Western culture her entire life makes her African culture. I don't understand that. And she gets to talk here.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Basically, every country in the world is following Western culture. Even China is following communism, which is from the West. Even Japan is westernized. If you don't follow Western culture, then you basically have a shitty life. Yeah, Western culture has, Western civilization has lifted so many people out of abject, dirt-level poverty that it's inconceivable for most people on the planet to not have some influence from Western culture. You use things that were invented in the West all the time. It's kept people alive through medicine and not a bunch of like hoodoo witchcraft of realigning your wood element and shit like that.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm looking at her. She's wearing Western clothes.
Yep.
She's got this Western coffee cup thing in front of her. These are Western made tripods she's got there. The ability to blow this paper up like this, that's Western. She's speaking English.
Her name is Western.
There's nothing about this that's not Western.
Yeah.
I would even dare say that her jewelry was all made in the West.
I would be willing to say that her ability to speak at one of these things is very Western.
Yeah.
Because before Western civilization, women had almost no rights in the majority of the world.
I was going somewhere different. She's a member of a basically parliamentary government.
Yeah.
Which is Western.
Oh, I was just going on the fact that she's a woman. And in this country, she's a minority. And in most countries, historically, minorities had no say in what the larger majority did. So even like the Romans had rules like that. If you were not a citizen of Rome, if you were a lower caste, same in India, you were untouchable. You didn't matter. A citizen could kill you and it wouldn't matter. So yeah, she's very lucky to be in a Western civilization where she can speak out against a lot of the things she hates and speak out against the government that she represents.
Thank you to Cass One. Every single thing you pointed out came from China. You don't know that.
Well, it might have been produced in China, but we invented most of it.
And it was made for Western civilization.
Yeah. Real quick, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. There's a reason why when a culture gets westernized, the quality of life vastly improves. It's almost like Western culture is superior or something.
It is.
Well, when you stop fearing every little knock and sound and start joining like civilization, it does tend to make your life slightly better. Admitting that science is a thing, that sort of thing.
I'd like to ask her if she's on the trend with all of her colleagues about loving democracy so much, because fairly certain that's Western.
Well, I wonder if the shaman can summon the lightning. Or
Tyshawn, thank you. Islamist leader, reject all Western influences except fans and microphones.
Yeah. Yeah, and air conditioning and
anyhow. Are we breaking up or are you stopping speaking?
I stopped speaking.
Okay.
I got distracted by chat.
No, you're fine. John Migda, thank you. Shut off her water and make her carry it. Yeah, go wash your clothes down at the creek.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right.
He came here to promote fossil fuels, which we know are disproportionately harming and killing Black and brown people.
That's retarded.
Yeah, also, what science did she use for that? I bet that was Western science.
Yes, her Western science tells her that since freeways go near places where Black people ended up buying houses, that fossil fuels are killing Black and brown people.
Well, I mean, did she consult her local witch doctor for this?
I don't think so. I think she probably went to the ICCP or whatever.
So you're saying she culturally appropriated that
information?
Yes. What a bitch.
Hey, look, her ancestors are from Africa. So she's basically African culture. That's fucking retarded, but I mean, that's how she presented herself.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Like, if she was her family came from like Egypt, does she have to worship Osiris now, or is she going straight to Horus with her problems?
And I recognize
now somebody else on the committee, the chairman of the committee here, Mr. Fallon, he gives the guy a chance to respond to this, which good on him.
Wait, look at that chick back there. She's got to poop.
That or she's really high and it just kicked in.
Maybe both. She's like, I gotta poop. Look busy.
You don't want to get really high and need to poop,
right? Not when you're in a meeting.
You're gonna wake up sad.
Yeah.
All right.
Alex Epstein to please begin his opening statement, and because you were directly mentioned as a chairman's discretion, I want to give you an additional minute if you'd like to address the allegations levied on you against the ranking member.
Yeah, it'd be great if they put up the cards again.
I just want to point out that this guy, the thing she's talking about, he wrote 20 years ago in high school. Does this guy look old enough to have something 20 years old?
He looks like he's like 25.
Right.
Maybe. And he like must have written that when he was 5 or 6.
What kind of Jew magic is he using to stay looking so young?
I don't know, but good for him. Also, I'm going to say it now, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Epstein did not kill himself. All right.
Yeah, so thanks for giving me a minute to address truly despicable and false attack on me.
Amen.
Claiming that anything I've ever said is white supremacist and then trying to imply that somehow applies today. So I don't know if you want to put those cards back up, but what I argued and what I've argued for my entire adult life is that Western culture is superior in the sense that it promotes individualism and freedom. And I have fought my entire life.
Nobody wants freedom. That's anti-Black.
Individualism. How dare you?
Do you really want to, as a Black person in America, do you really want to be arguing against somebody who's defending freedom?
Yeah. Right? Also, calling a Jewish guy a white supremacist is kind of a big slap in the face with your dick.
It's kind of funny, really.
Yeah. Like, she clearly did not think this through at all.
Well, in fairness, she's a fucking idiot.
That's true.
Cori Bush is a race-baiting piece of shit, and she has been ever since she hit the scene.
Oh, yeah. I bet she's a real piece of garbage, outside of the politics.
For freedom around the world, including in Africa, including in Asia, including in India. And I want everyone around the world to have the same opportunities that I do in the United States. There are different places around.
He wants to colonize, Jack.
Oh, that bastard with his wanting to lift people out of abject poverty. What a monster.
What a bitch. What a racist.
The world that are in many ways inferior. They have female genital mutilation. They have slavery. These are not as good as not mutilating females' genitals and not enslaving people. And so I make no apology. And the idea that this is associated with skin color is despicable and racist. Skin color has nothing to do with ideas. Where you came from geographically is irrelevant. What's relevant is what's true. So,
amen, brother.
Yeah, that was a great response to this.
Yeah, and good on him. And to the chairman for giving him a chance to actually address what was said about him, because fuck Cori Bush. She is a horrible person.
Yeah, you could tell he had that statement prepared. He knew this was going to come up. But good on him for being ready for this. And like you said, good on the chairman for allowing him to address it, because that was an unwarranted attack on his character and a total mischaracterization of what he said.
And good on him for understanding that Western civilization is better than all the others, apparently at the age of 3.
Yeah, well, that's impressive. Also, thank you, Chick in the back, who said, I shit myself. It was uncomfortable. Well, it happens.
Happens. No need to be ashamed. Clean it up and move on. Learn the lesson.
No, you leave it there and you blame the janitor.
That's why when you get a little high and you get that Taco Bell, you got to be careful. Thank you, Keldrig. I don't know anything about this guy, but right now I'm digging what he's saying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything else about him either. Just that exchange. This is coming from a member of Congress, and she is just slandering this man. That is defamation, what she did. He's a white supremacist. The Republicans called him because he said Western culture is better. I should not do that voice, should I?
No, you should not. Save the Fat Albert voice for
Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to do it. That's just the one that came out. Anyhow, we all watched what the idiot said, so we can move along. All right, Jack. I don't really have anything else, so I decided to just grab oh God, yeah, fuck. Speaking of our First Amendment and them just shitting all over it, this came up during the subcommittee hearing that Jordan chaired the other day, the one we talked about at the beginning of the show. Federal Trade Commission demands Elon Musk to identify all journalists who had access to the Twitter files.
Yeah.
The FTC also ordered an explanation regarding the firing of ex-Deputy General Counsel and former FBI lawyer Jim Baker. None of your fucking business.
Yeah, this is an attempt to target people.
Yep.
And that's it. And plus they're going after Musk, so...
The Federal Trade Commission is demanding Elon Musk turn over internal Twitter documents, including a list of journalists who are behind the viral Twitter files. The Wall Street Journal first reported Tuesday about more than a dozen letters the FTC sent to Twitter and its legal counsel as part of a probe looking into to Musk's 2022 takeover of the platform. None of your business. It was an approved takeover. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And once he gets it, it's none of your business which journalists he allows to see these files. It's not the federal government. Okay, let's say you get the list. And what then?
Oh, you know what they're going to do with it. They're going to turn it over to the FBI and have all those people investigated.
They have literally no power to do anything with that list.
Well, on paper, but the Constitution has not stopped this government from doing whatever the fuck they want willy-nilly with no consequences. Look at what the FBI's been up to.
Can I just point out that this is the head of the FTC, Lena Khan. Can I just point out she looks like a villain from a Disney live-action movie?
She kind of does. She also looks like a slightly cuter Blossom.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. And very slightly.
Yeah, that means that wall is creeping up pretty quick, honey. Watch out. You gotta
Furry
get
kitten,
real fat.
Furry kitten, thank you. Democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, mutual respect, tolerance, the sheer fucking hubris of us colonizers. I know, right?
Yeah, it's monstrous.
We're bastards.
Well, I mean, we are, but that's not the point.
But not for that.
Yeah, we've got a long history of being assholes.
Yeah. The information ordered by the FTC included a demand to identify all journalists who were granted access to the company's archives, turn over anything involving the massive layoffs and Twitter Blue subscription service, provide all internal communications related to Musk, and explain why Twitter fired its deputy general counsel and former FBI lawyer Jim Baker. Because he's a twat.
Yeah, see, this is the feds protecting their own.
Yeah.
Baker, wasn't he the retired FBI guy?
Yeah. Although, if you watch that subcommittee hearing, the Democrats kept saying alleged FBI.
Like you can't do a background check on him and find that out? You work in the government.
It's known he worked for the FBI. It's not a question, but they allegedly worked for the FBI.
Yeah, what a load of shit. These people are such fucking frauds.
It's a matter of public record. Details of the letter emerge from an interim staff report from the House Select Committee on Weaponizing of the Federal Government, which accused the government agency led by FTC Chairman Lina Khan of overreaching to harass Twitter.
You think?
Yeah. And yeah, this all blew up right before the committee meeting the other day, and so it gets brought up, and the Democrats are like, no, look, the FTC, they've been looking into Twitter even before Elon got there. Yeah, but these are specific requests of Elon and how he's running the business. Can Elon sue them for this? He can take it to federal court and say they have no power to do this. But he can't sue them in the frame of like getting money for anything. He can sue to have them go fuck themselves.
Yeah, it would cost him a fortune to do it, though.
And that says, wow, they're only worried about the one guy getting fired. Well, they want to know about why you fired the other people. The ones who we've seen. Remember Twitter was going to fall apart within that first 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
I got in an argument with an idiot because they're like, oh, this is just going to all fall apart. And I'm like, that's not really how computers work. And they're like, you just don't know. I don't have an apology from that person.
Oh, you're not going to get one either, and you know that.
Yeah, I haven't had them come back and go, oh, you know what? You were right. But then again, nobody's ever apologized to me for the bullshit I got over Y2K either.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You know how easy it is to scare the shit out of people with computers because they just don't understand how they work?
Apparently, it's pretty easy to scare
It
the
is.
shit out of people with just random stuff, like the P-tapes and...
So anyway, we'll throw this into chat for you guys. There's not much more to it other than the FTC is blatantly abusing their power. Go ahead, Jack.
But there is a related article. Skip down to TD1.
Oh, okay.
It's before the second Twitter link.
Sure. I just want to throw this link in the chat for these guys.
Yeah, I already did. But
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, I don't care. You
I don't
threw the
see that one in
StreamYard link in again.
Oh, did I? If you guys jump in, you won't get into the show, but you'll just end up you'll get to hear it from the back, which sounds exactly like it does from the front.
Yeah, just a couple seconds sooner. That's all.
That's right. Yeah. Thank God. You know, one of the things StreamYards did that was so great is this green room they gave us.
Yeah.
Because if that was way back in the YouTube days, we would have had a whole bunch of jackasses showing up. All right, you said TD1?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Oh, nice. Judge stops Twitter from revealing FBI information requests, cites national security concerns. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Plague Dr. Zach said, good job, Worski.
Again, I'm not worried about it on this platform. So Nut says I clicked it. You did not, because I drag your ass in here. Twitter cannot publicly reveal well, actually, because she goes to that first screen. Nuts, you got to come hang out with us someday. I promise I will not be mean. Well, it'll be
You can't make that promise.
It'll be lovingly mean if I'm mean to you. I won't let anybody else be mean to you. Jack, maybe just a little ribbing, and if Dax shows up, Dax, but otherwise nobody can be mean to you. Twitter cannot publicly reveal the number of times the FBI asked it to provide information for national security investigations, a federal court ruled Monday. Do you have the other story? The one on the January 6th guys?
I got a bunch of January 6th stuff, so you're going to have to be more specific.
I was getting there. You cut me off.
Too late. I know, it was fun. The Proud Boys one?
Yeah, the one where they accidentally released information.
Yeah, I wanted to do these first because
I did actually mark that one so that I had it just in case.
See, great minds.
Since 2012, Twitter has published a transparency report detailing how many times the company received government information requests or demands to remove content. For years, the company has wanted to include the amount of national security letters, NSLs, and Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Acts, FISA orders it has served. But the FBI argues the number is classified and that revealing it would harm national security. The Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit held Monday that this is a justified restriction. That's retarded.
Stupid.
They're not giving any information but the number of times. How does that? Okay, let's say the number, Jack, is 1 or it's 5 million. Without knowing anything else except for that number, how exactly does that damage national security?
It has nothing to do with that. It's just a flex, and we all know it. They're like, see, we have power over you.
Well, I've talked so many times, this really does need to be a thing. We need to declassify a shit ton of stuff. There is so much that our government's like, no, you can't see that. This, nope. Nuh-uh. Yeah, if you see that, it's gonna, you just don't know what kind of damage that's gonna do. And most of it is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like this. There's no reason that number can't come out.
Nope,
Literally
they're just
zero.
Assholes.
Same with the January 6th stuff, Jack. How many FBI agents were there? Oh, we can't say. So that'll be some. We're not asking for the names. We're not asking even for their locations. We're asking how many. And in that crowd of 2,000 or 3,000, however many were actually there, and you say, okay, there were 15. Okay. That doesn't actually help us with anything.
No, but they're concerned, I think, that it's going to lead to more questions. Like, you asked for 5,000 of these, why? And they're going to have to answer that to somebody, and they don't want to do that because they're a bunch of manipulative fucks.
Although we acknowledge Twitter's desire to speak on matters of public concern, after a thorough review of the classified and unclassified record, we conclude that the government's restriction on Twitter's speech is narrowly tailored in support of a compelling government interest, our national security, the majority opinion states.
Bullshit. They hide behind national security all the fucking time.
Yes. It's what they do with everything. It's national security. Sorry, you can't see that.
Yeah, and then when that one's not good enough, they go to sources and methods.
We can't. If you see that, you will literally just spontaneously combust.
Yeah, you might betray the country with this random bit of nonsensical, worthless information.
Yeah. All right, our first of the January 6th stories tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Judge denies January 6th defendant's request to delay trial pending review of surveillance tapes.
This was enraging. Wait till you hear the reason.
This is, you're talking about literally their defense.
Yeah.
On Friday, Sarah Carpenter, a retired New York police officer, was found guilty in Washington, D.C. court of seven criminal counts, including 2 felonies for her actions on January 6th, under U.S. District Court Judge James Shitbag denied her request on March 3rd for a delay so that her lawyer could review the recently released footage of that day by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Any of that footage that is relevant to her case should already be in their control.
And you know that it's not.
We know it's not.
Real quick. Thank you, Alan, who says, morning, Jack. Good morning, Alan. Hope your day is going well.
We know it's not because it's a national security issue, Jack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you can't have a defense. Fuck your Fourth Amendment. Fuck all your rights. We're just going to, you are guilty until presumed innocent.
This is asinine.
Yeah.
Freedom News reported. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jack.
No, I'm sorry. Just the reasoning by the judge here was sickening.
Alan, thank you so much. He says, morning, monkey. Good morning. Freedom News reported retired New York Police Department spokesperson Sarah Carpenter has been convicted on all counts on January 6 charges after a judge denied her request to push back the start of the trial to allow time to review about 44,000 hours of Capitol riot footage from Speaker McCarthy. Footage posted on Twitter by Freedom News shows a woman matching the description of Sarah Carpenter at the Capitol building on January 6th, saying, "The Congress needs to come out. They need to certify Trump as the president." Is that all she did was yell?
It looks that way, but that's enough, isn't it? I mean, that's an insurrection right there.
6 charges for okay. The Congress needs to come out. Oh, we read that earlier that day. Then President Donald Trump held a Stop the Steal rally in Washington, D.C., after which a group of protesters left and entered the Capitol building. That's a very short telling of it.
Indeed.
On Monday, March 6th, Tucker Carlson released never-before-seen footage provided by Speaker McCarthy that highlighted false claims about the Capitol riot made by several pundits and Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi's January 6th committee. Revelations from the footage showed U.S. veteran Jacob Chansley, dubbed the QAnon shaman, being escorted peacefully by police, contradicting claims that he was a violent insurrectionist. By the way, Elon Musk today called for Chansley to be released. I agree.
Yeah.
He should have never
absolutely.
been. He shouldn't have been jailed.
Yeah, his new lawyers. Did you see that interview with his lawyer?
I did not.
Because the way the plea agreement was worded, they're having trouble filing an appeal because the government basically got his defense attorney to agree to waive any appeals and stuff like that. So now the guy has to jump through all kinds of crazy hoops to even get this before a judge again, because the same judge has to look at the case, and they need a substantially reasoned review within the boundaries of the agreement, and it's going to be real difficult to get him a retrial. It's such fucking bullshit. That guy was totally railroaded, and the government is fucking him over.
Chaos One, thank you. It also wasn't after, and then they left. Indeed. By the way, real quick before you get the Naomi Wolf thing, she talks about that and how what this guy was set up. The media picks this guy, and probably the Capitol Police picked this guy because they know, look at this crazy guy, and they're going to sell this, and he became the face of it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
Thank you, jackasses, who say we show up all the time. That's true.
His appeal process will take years. Yeah, by the time he gets any relief, he'll probably already be out of jail.
Yeah, it would be worthless at that point.
Footage also revealed Ray Epps, who was seen on the video the night before the January 6th, encouraging Trump supporters to enter the Capitol building, lied in sworn testimony, and that Officer Brian Sicknick was alive after Democrats claimed he had been killed because of the riot. Establishment media and Democrats have falsely claimed 5 police officers died because of the riot. On January 6th, mother and veteran Ashley Babbitt, who was unarmed, was shot and killed by a police officer. Politico reports Judge Bitchberg denied her request last week because the precedent could, quote, derail dozens of trials that were set in the next few months. What?
Yep, that's what I said too. That's why I included this article today. Because
We
most
can't-
of this is stuff we've already gone over, but he refused her appeal because it would derail future trials' time. Not the content of them, but the schedule. It would fuck up his schedule.
We're going to deny you due process because it'll put us behind a little bit.
That's where we're at now.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I was so enraged. And that's pretty much the article. I mean, they waited till the end to tell us why, but because it would derail the schedule, the calendar. Oh my God, it might ruin his golf day next month.
She corruptly obstructed, influenced, and impeded an official proceeding. That is a proceeding before Congress. Specifically, what all are our counts here? Count 1 is obstruction. Count 2 is obstruction. Count 3 is entering restricted building. Count 4 intended to obstruct. So they've got like 4 different counts of obstruction that they just named differently.
Yep.
Same with count 5 and count 6. Obstructed again. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh God. And she's gonna end up in jail for a while over that stupid shit.
Yeah, and maybe she didn't do it, but you don't know because her defense team hasn't had time to review the footage that might be exculpatory. And the judge is like, "Nah, my schedule's packed. Sorry. Fuck your due process."
Charged for the same crime 5 times. Basically, yeah.
Well, I think what they're going for is there were specific incidences that were slightly different that were all a chain of events. And
It's
that's how they do it.
nonsense, though.
Of
Yeah,
course it is.
they will
But
throw everything. How the fuck did she end up found guilty so quickly?
Because she didn't have access to any of the footage to back herself up.
Well, let's talk about that, shall we? Proud Boys trial paused as defendant attorney alleges FBI altered evidence. Well, that's because they admitted it.
Yeah.
The trial of Dominic Pizzola, one of the defendants of the January 6, 2021 Capitol breach, was paused on Thursday due to classified FBI messages revealed in court, which the defense attorneys say show FBI agents discussing the altering of evidence. It absolutely does. And not just that. It shows the FBI, how do I want to put this? Illegally getting between defendants and their lawyers.
Yep.
Listening.
Some would call that a conspiracy.
Yeah. Privilege information between an attorney and a client. They're not suggesting the attorney was guilty, so they have no reason to be talking or listening to anything they say.
Yeah, if the attorney's not complicit, you can't do that.
Thank you, Cass One. I mean, Alex Jones didn't get a trial. He got a sentence. None of this matters. They have a narrative to run.
Yeah, sadly.
And I hear you, but civil trial is a little bit different than criminal trial. And I don't disagree with you about Alex Jones. He got railroaded, absolutely. But I mean, they are blatantly just throwing the rules of criminal trial out so that they can railroad these idiots. Pizzola is one of the Proud Boy members on trial for obstruction and conspiracy charges. He was arrested on January 15th and indicted the same month. Yeah, it's nice how they're arrested, kept in jail, and then indicted. Yeah, we'll charge you later. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime.
Furry Kitten, thank you. It's a little white, fluffy water stuff up around 55 North. Might have to put my coat on. Next time people moan against DST, try 18 plus hours of darkness. No. I like the dark, and that's too much. You need the sunshine. You need to move. Come down where the sun is. There are a couple of emails between FBI agents casually discussing altering a document and destroying hundreds of pieces of evidence. It's very disturbing, and right now we have more questions than answers. Roger Roots, an attorney at John Pierce Law, wrote to the Epic Times. Roots confirmed that Washington District Court Judge Timothy Kelly, a Trump appointee, paused the trial on Thursday after the leaked messages were shown in court. The exchange Roots refers to came into light on Wednesday during the testimony of FBI Special Agent Nicole Miller, who was involved in the agency's investigation of January 6th defendants. Where were we? When cross-examining Miller, Nick Smith, an attorney representing Proud Boys member Ethan Nordine, listed as co-defendant on Pizzola's case, revealed classified FBI emails that were hidden in a tab in an Excel spreadsheet.
Oops.
Whoopsie. Roots, in Pizzola's case, used the evidence to support a motion to dismiss the charges against Pizzola, which Roots teams filed on Wednesday. In the motion, they said that the emails showed that FBI monitored communications between Nordine and his lawyer, violating the Sixth Amendment, which prohibits invasion of the right to counsel. True. Massive, you want a link? You hadn't heard about this? Oh, God, yeah.
I'll drop it again. I got it right here.
Thank you. Yeah, this is actually pretty big news. Didn't this break yesterday?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's either yesterday or early this morning. I don't remember.
In the Nordine case, confidential attorney-client trial / defense strategy and position was wrongfully attained by the government, about which was overheard, shared, utilized, where potentially 338 items of evidence were ordered to be destroyed.
Isn't that convenient?
So the FBI, this is what happened. They have to turn over this evidence to the defense team. And they make this Excel spreadsheet with emails back and forth between this Nicole chick and several other FBI agents. And in a hidden file on there, they accidentally included exactly what this sounds like here. They included that they were basically listening in between the attorney and his client, and that a superior is what it said. A superior ordered some FBI agent to destroy 338 items of evidence.
I'm willing to bet that somebody at the FBI actually inserted these on a hidden tab and leaked them to the defense.
Yeah, and the way this came out is because the lawyer starts questioning about it, and the FBI is like, wait a minute, how do you have this information? That's classified. And this just goes to what we were talking about before, Jack. Why are they classifying all this stuff?
So they could do crime and get away with it.
There should be nothing involved with this case, with them talking about this case, that should be classified to those defendants.
Oh, well, especially when they're listening in on the defense team.
This is outrageous.
This should be a massive scandal, and almost nobody's talking about it.
Yep. What news source was it that I had that had this in there?
Might have been Politico. I know they had an article on it.
I want to say it was a Fox News one, but I can't find it. That's not the one I saved. That's my bad. I thought it was.
Yeah, the Epic Times really had the best coverage, which is why I threw that one on there.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I'm horrified by what the FBI has been up to. Look at all the scandals, censoring people at Twitter, not going after the Epstein client list, not covering for Hunter Biden constantly, covering for Joe Biden, and now they're destroying evidence and he's dropping on lawyers.
Yeah, and it's weird. They don't say destroy stuff. They specifically destroy evidence. Evidence of what? Well, we can't know now because 338 pieces of it were destroyed. Yeah, these guys should get off just on a technicality there. Sorry.
Yeah, and those FBI agents should all be in jail.
Yep.
But unfortunately, it's not going to happen because the federal government protects their own.
Including the superior who ordered this.
Yep.
And there should be a massive investigation of how they ended up listening in to the conversation between this lawyer and this client.
I don't think the FBI can be reformed at this point.
No, they need to go
Look at-
away.
All these scandals that they've had. And it's not like they're new to scandal. They've been scandalous since the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's a plague of just cockroaches in the FBI, and they should be disbanded, and a bunch of them should be in prison.
That brings me to one thing we didn't do, Jack, a little palate cleanser here. You want a nice palate cleanser?
Oh, you know I do.
This is our president of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, the Puerto
R is
Rican.
not for retard.
I'm not positive of that. The Puerto Rican black coal miner, truck driver, 3-degree having retard that is our president.
And so, folks, look, MAGA Republicans are calling for defunding the police departments.
Who?
The fictional ones in his head. If you
Which
say
one?
it enough times, people will believe it.
This is literally a Democrat talking point.
Yeah. I have to assume that he's talking about people wanting to investigate the.
Don't jump ahead if you haven't seen this.
Oh.
Yeah. Hang on. So yeah, MAGA Republicans want to defund police department. Not true. And then he says this.
And defunding the FBI now. That's a good one. I like.
Well, he's right about the second one.
Yeah.
But see, he makes a clear difference between those two.
Yeah.
So he's mixing up his party and MAGA Republicans.
No, see, it's their standard playbook of accuse your enemy of what you're doing. So they're trying to rewrite history by saying, "Oh no, it was the Republicans." You know, it's sort of like the Southern strategy switch, where all the racists went to vote for Republicans. It's the same thing. They're gonna make this big lie, and people are gonna believe it because they're a bunch of stupid fucking sheep.
And for defunding the police departments and defunding the FBI now. That's a good one. I like that one. Well, guess what? The refuse to provide funding is going to keep communities safe and secure. We talk about crime. Well, it's outrageous. My budget invests in public safety. It includes funding for more training, more support for law enforcement at a time when they're expected to play many roles.
You mean like watching Twitter when they should be out there fighting crime?
Yeah. Or babysitting crazy people because you guys shut down the institutions in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Our president's a fucking retard. I don't even know what else to say about the man.
He's a puppet.
Yeah, they want to shut down they want to defund the police. Remember the Democrats, defund police. You guys want to defund the police. We didn't say that. You literally said it. Well, that's not what defund means.
Yeah, wait a minute. Reform. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Yeah, okay, but now they're putting that on MAGA Republicans, and they want to get rid of the FBI. Guys, after the stories we just read to you, is there anybody in chat who's like, yeah, the FBI is pretty good?
Yeah.
They're literally destroying evidence.
Well, of course he likes the FBI because they run interference for his kid all the time.
By the way, I just want to point out that destroying evidence thing, that's not a guess. That's from their own words.
Yep.
The agent that was being questioned was told to destroy evidence. That's horrific.
It's illegal, it's immoral, and they don't care because there's no consequences. Why would you stop when there's no consequence for it?
Thank you, Cass One. We don't want to defund the police. We want to take all their money and have it vanish. Defund means it's going to somewhere other than our pockets. I mean, a lot of it was going to their pockets. Furry Kid says 384. No, it was 338. 338, according to the article we just read. Well, yeah, that's our president, you guys. He's fucking retarded.
I'm like a baked potato.
It's March. I only think he's got about a month left.
Yeah. Well, I was still kind of surprised when they didn't kill him over in Kiev.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I mean, the CIA had the golden opportunity to do a repeat of what they love doing, causing
Sure.
wars and killing people.
Right.
While
Next.
you're pulling that up, thank you, Uncle Adolf. We at the Animal Farm support the big lie. Oh, I understand that, Adolf, but so some of us disagree, which is why we will forever be the snowball where you blame everything on.
Top Democrat on the January 6th committee. We actually didn't review any of the surveillance video.
Which is worse, the fact that they withheld the information after seeing it, or they didn't bother to look at it?
I don't believe for a minute that they didn't bother to look at it, because some of the footage that's used is surveillance footage.
Yeah.
They used the video of Holly running. That is surveillance footage.
Well, see, that's the thing is their story is that they didn't do it. They left it to other people to do it.
Thank you, Frank. Why does it seem Dems want total criminality? They want total control. That's what they want. However they get it. Remember them being mad because they couldn't just get stuff done, so you need a phone and a pen. Cirque, I got it, but hang on just a second there. That's all it is. Thank you, Circuit Zero. Joe Biden saying the quiet part out loud again. I will provide funding that will keep our communities safe. It'd be a damn shame if something happened to your business here.
Yeah. You know what's real safe? A police state.
After Fox News host Tucker, go ahead. I'm sorry.
To address something in the chat, we're probably not going to talk much about the SVB stuff tonight because there's just too much other shit.
The what now?
The Silicon Valley Bank went under because there was a run on the bank.
I didn't even see it.
I got some articles on it, but yeah, we'll have to do it tomorrow. But yeah, it's big news.
Oh, Cirque says he said will not. Oh, did he say that? I didn't even pay attention to that part. I was just still stuck on him trying to blame MAGA for defund the police.
All those extremist MAGA Republicans. Yeah.
No, for the record, guys, I was not on the internet very much today. I did get to see my middle grandchild, the middle little. She was here for a while. I got like a 5-minute hug, and that's not an exaggeration.
Oh.
I went upstairs because Lady Monkey sent me a Snapchat, and there she is at the table. So I went upstairs, and she comes running over to me as the girls do, and I picked her up, and she just hugged me for like 5 minutes straight. You ever play a video game where like your energy meter just gets refilled, like you drink a potion or something?
Yeah.
That hug was like my energy meter just filling back up.
Oh.
And yeah, it was awesome. Anyway, after Fox News host Tucker Carlson aired Capitol surveillance footage this week, exposing yet more falsehoods from the House Select Committee on January 6th, and leaving Democrats and their media allies irate. Excuse me, timeout. And Republicans. Mitch McConnell. Did you see people got mad because folks were putting turtles on their back in response to McConnell falling over?
Yeah.
Like, I saw the crass and Republicans have no regard for people. Are you serious? You guys named a fucking, and not him specifically, but we're talking liberal versus Republican here. You guys had a list of people who died who didn't get the shot, and you named it after a guy who died who didn't get the shot. And you danced on their graves every time it happened. And you're getting upset over Mitch McConnell being... Since when do Democrats defend Mitch McConnell?
He supports war in Ukraine. That's why.
And he was up there with Schumer the other day going, yeah, Tucker Carlson's a dick.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that. Leaving Democrats and Republicans and their media allies irate. The committee chair on Wednesday said the panel never actually analyzed the crucial footage. On Monday's edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight, Fox aired footage of the riot, giving access, blah, blah, blah. But in a Wednesday night segment on CNN, Select Committee Chairman Benny Thompson, fuck this guy and his name, Democrat from Mississippi, claimed the panel never analyzed the blockbuster footage. I'm not actually aware of any member of the committee who had access. We had a team of employees who kind of went through the video.
Yeah. The video's so secret they couldn't let anyone see it except some unpaid interns or low-level staffers. That's fucking brilliant.
No, I hear you, but you're wrong there. Remember, they had a producer.
Oh, yeah.
They had a television producer. So he got access to it too. He had to have. Hiring investigators who kind of went through the video doesn't sound like a very thorough investigation. Nope, but they put it all up there, didn't they? However, Thompson's admission that his committee lacked due diligence makes no sense. Since when do lawmakers have no access to the same material as their own staffers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did none of the 9 panel members view the footage that was played for the cameras? Okay, again, I can prove it with the Holly video. Remember, they got a great laugh out of Josh Hawley running.
Yeah.
That is surveillance video. That wasn't cell phone footage. Does Thompson not know who had access to the tapes? Was it just the former television executives they hired to produce the show? Oh, sorry, the show trials. Either Thompson is lying. There's no either. Sorry, he's lying. And knows exactly who had access, or he handed the key to Vice Chair Liz Cheney and had nothing to do with it while the committee leaked exclusives to CNN. All right. And they did not respond to comment. I'm shocked.
I am stunned by that.
There's no or there. He's absolutely fucking lying. No question. No. Maybe he got it wrong. No, the motherfucker's lying. He's just flat lying.
I could see some of these lazy clowns passing the buck onto some low-level staffer who's like, hey, go watch this shit, bring me some clips of the highlights, and we'll take it from there. But I don't believe him. I think they watched it, they picked the select footage, and buried the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, thank you, Snowball. I didn't knock over the windmill. Yes, you did. Napoleon said so. And I trust the news reporting of Napoleon.
I says, I'm mistaking this for a gaming channel. I talk gaming sometimes when it's a relevant story I care about.
No, if you want his gaming channel, you need to go over to his Twitch stream.
Twitch.tv/rantingmonkey. Probably won't be doing it today. I'm fading fast, Jack. Over the last 3 days, if you put all my sleep together, I probably had 5 hours, and none of it was together. Every time I go to sleep, I wake up 10 to 15 minutes later, and I just lay there begging the gods to put me back. Just let me go back.
I like to sleep. Blah, blah,
I need
blah.
sleep, man. I desperately need it.
No, you don't.
I do indeed.
You'll be fine.
All right. Crisis in the classroom, huh?
Uh-huh.
Now, see, Jack, because of the way I do this now, everybody's going to get to see the title or the wording before we start, because I have to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Twitter, how about you give us the ability to expand the video before we start playing it?
That'd be nice.
All right.
I am Caesar.
Oh, I've read about this. I didn't see it yet. Is the volume too loud? Or are we good?
It's fine. He's
All
funny.
Right. Julius Caesar of Rome, the emperor. I am also a female. Does anybody here believe that I am Julius Caesar? Anybody believe that? No? Of course not. It's ridiculous. I'm not Caesar. I'm not a woman either. I'm here as a father. I am.
I love this. I love the lady in the background in pink.
Yeah, she's like, oh dear God, what am I looking at?
Actually, she has the look of, oh my God, he's really doing it. She has the look of a wife on her face right there.
That's what I thought too. That's an embarrassed wife right there.
Yep. Like, oh my God, he's making a testicle of himself. That's a joke from Married with Children. If you don't get it, you need to watch more of that. Yeah, I mean, he's making a point, but it's a point that has been made so many times, and they just don't listen.
No,
They don't
why
listen.
would they?
It doesn't fit the narrative. No, women. I got into a big argument because on International Women's Day, my governor is out there. Thank God for the trans women who led the way. And I'm like, you're celebrating men on International Women's Day. And a bunch of people, how dare you? They're actually women. They have penises.
Look, men are just better at being women. That's all that I've learned from this whole thing.
Stop telling me to trust the science, and the science has told us forever that, yeah, there's men and women. You guys are like, no, it's a spectrum. I'm a woman, man. Shut up. You're not. You either have a mental problem that you desperately need psychiatric help for, or you're a fucking attention-seeking twat who is using an actual mental illness to gain clout for your dumb ass. Either way, you're not really a woman. Sorry. Period. End of story. I know trans women are women. Then why do you say trans women, fucker?
And what is a woman?
I get so irritated by that shit.
It's amazing how much we've minimized women by just indoctrinating this, because like nobody's disagreeing on what a man is.
Nope.
It's just women. They all want to have sex with lesbians, and this is how you do it, I guess. Shame.
Yeah, you don't hear very much from trans men, and there's a reason for it. Trans men generally can't go into men's spaces and assert themselves. They don't have the power to because they're women.
Yeah, because they tend to be very small and not very muscular.
No man is going to go into a locker room and there's some chick in there changing into her Birkenstocks and be like, oh, I'm going to get raped.
Yeah.
Be like, I saw pussy.
I'm very confused by what I saw in the men's locker room.
Ma'am, are you supposed to be in here? Don't call me ma'am. Anyway, this story blew my fucking mind. But there is more to it. Sorry, our ill-disciplined cartel members kidnapped and killed U.S. tourists, say Mexican scorpion gang leaders. This is not a joke. This is absolutely not a joke. The Mexican cartel, they killed those two people the other day and tortured the shit out of the other two. They put out a sorry letter and turned over, 5 of their members to the police?
I think it was 4 the first time, and they turned over 5 more.
There you go. Thank you, Cryptic. I identify as round eyes. You identify as that, but my field of vision is bigger than yours. A Mexican cartel has dumped 5 of its own members in the streets for police to take into custody, along with a letter apologizing for accidentally kidnapping American tourists.
Yeah, that was a please don't carpet bomb us sort of statement.
Well, this is, not the apology letter, but the idea, and this has been a thing with gangs, especially drug gangs, for a long time, is that there's certain people you don't target.
Yeah.
You don't target police. Why? It's not because you have some kind of respect for the law, but that tends to piss them off, and then they're going to come after you harder.
Yeah, and they tend to start ignoring their own rules and shooting you on sight.
And so in this case, it's doing that to the Americans versus, hey, fuck it, kill all the Mexicans we want, but hey, be careful with those Americans. You're going to piss off the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, because they know that their government will look the other way because of bribes.
Yep.
And foreign countries don't take too kindly to their citizens being slaughtered in the street. And it brings a lot of undue international attention to them and what they're doing. And they need to sell a bunch of fentanyl over to the U.S. So killing bystanders, especially kids, is generally frowned upon by the gang members, generally. unless there's a vendetta or a message that needs to be sent. You start targeting innocent civilians, the population turns against you.
In a handwritten note apparently left alongside the 5 men found with their hands tied, the Scorpion Group faction of the notorious Gulf Cartel apologized to the 4 Americans and their families, the Mexican woman who died in the cartel shootout, and the town of Matamoros where the kidnapping took place. Yeah, we didn't talk about the lady who got shot. There's a Mexican lady a block and a half down, took a stray bullet.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. We've decided to turn over those who were directly involved and responsible in the events, who at all times acted under their own decision-making and lack of discipline, the letter read.
Yeah, and I actually do believe that this might have been just some boo-boo.
I think it was a boo-boo, but it was not just these 5 guys doing it. They thought they were hitting a Haitian drug cartel.
Yeah, but I don't think they checked with the higher-ups.
I have no doubt that the higher-ups knew that they were going to go after a Haitian rival. It's Mexico, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one thing to have a rivalry, but just to start shooting an unverified target, that's a bold gambit, especially right on a border.
They probably had bad intel. You know what? The Haitians probably got in untouched, and right now, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dodged a bullet, literally.
Literally. Several. Because the one guy who came back, because the girl and one of the guys, there were 3 guys. One of the guys came back. He was shot twice in the same leg.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's just torturing somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's how you get info.
The cartel members responsible for the botched abduction, it said, went against the cartel's rules, which it claims respecting life and the well-being of the innocent. Again, they were trying to hit other drug cartel members, so I don't believe you.
It's bad business to hit civilians.
It is. But I think they accidentally hit civilians when they were trying to actually kill people. They hit the wrong target. It's kind of like, I do believe that Joe Biden wanted to kill a terrorist. They just had bad intel and blew up a guy delivering water and his family.
Yeah, they didn't bother to verify the intel.
Yeah.
Always verify your intel.
I think Bill Clinton wanted to hit a chemical weapons factory. They had bad intel and blew up an aspirin factory.
Oh, I think he had a big enough headache. He wanted to take out an aspirin factory.
He had a headache that he was trying to get rid of. Oh, dear God. Left-wing NewsGuard awarded Pentagon contract records show. NewsGuard, a left-wing media monitoring organization which claims to rate the credibility of news websites, was awarded nearly 7. You know what, Jack? You and I need to start our own disinformation investigation site.
I know, right? There's a
These
lot of money
people
in
are
that shit.
They're making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is be like, yeah, I think Brian Krasenstein is actually a Russian operative.
Yeah, we could call it the Equity and Truth Diversity Fund.
Yeah.
You get as many buzzwords in there as you can.
Anyway, $750,000 from the Department of Defense in 2021, according to publicly available records. The revelation comes in the latest Twitter files post by Matt Tiabi. Thank you, Cryptic. Victims equal black. Cartel are racist. Indeed, they are. Indeed. Ranking ratings. I like that. In a series of posts detailing internal communications among Twitter executives, Tiabi suggests a collaboration of government and the company of what appears to be a coordinated effort to censor or slant information available to the public and individuals, particularly conservatives. Now, this is something that we haven't really talked about. In the original Twitter files, Tiabi tells us that he saw information from both the Trump and Biden White Houses asking for stuff to be corrected, I guess. And since then, we really haven't seen anything from the Trump White House except for Trump and Chrissy Teigen, that washed up nasty bitch,
Yeah.
where Trump is like, hey, she's actually slandering me. This needs taken down. You don't see it from Trump anywhere where he's like, yeah, these guys are being rude. And Matt has come out and even said that. He goes, I have to correct myself on that, because what we're seeing is it's mostly the Bidens. It's mostly left wing. That's not to say it's all left wing, but it's mostly. Anyway, 2 U.S. agencies he identified, including the State Department Global Engagement Center and the Department of Defense. Whoops. Tiabi was concerned about the government grants to an organization that targets news outlets, writing, some NGOs, non-governmental organizations, like the GEC-funded Global Disinformation Index or the DoD-funded NewsGuard, not only seek content moderation, but apply subjective risk or reliability scores to media outlets, which can result in a reduction in revenue. Jack, I saw Dr. Carolyn Orr. Do you know who that crazy bitch is?
It sounds familiar.
Somebody was giving her shit about not actually doing anything, and she said this. Actually, I came up with a theory-based moderation program. I'm like, wait. A theory-based moderation. So you made shit up?
In moderation.
And she got some award for this thing, she said. I'm like, you basically just said, I'm going to guess who the bad guys are. And you got paid for that shit. All right.
It's been a government contract.
And that's what we're seeing. Sorry, Jack. I don't know if there's more there that you wanted me to read, but that's the gist of it. We're seeing the government over and over again being involved with this stuff, and they are specifically using left-wing sites. We've seen this. It's gone on with the government for a long time. The government has long used the ADL and the SPLC as sources to claim that somebody's good or bad, and it's just getting worse. Now they're doing it based on what you might have said on Twitter.
Well, bureaucracy is vested in its own survival. And you know what's really good for bureaucracy? Communism.
I was going to say bullshit, but tomato.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, we see so much of this, and I cannot stress this enough. You control the language, you control everything, and that's what they're doing. And they're not even having to do it by sending you to jail. They'll just get you silenced.
Yeah.
You don't get to be a person anymore online where everybody is. No. You've been silenced in the public square. It is the social credit system.
It's the social ostracization of the internet. And then you can lose your banking ability if you push your luck. You can lose your job.
Yep.
They'll take your pension. They'll lock you up for going to the wrong protest and just being there. They'll find a reason.
Yep.
And they'll destroy your life because you didn't learn your lesson the first time.
This stuff is just, it's outrageous what's going on. And the media should be losing their fucking minds over all of this. And instead they're like, we don't see anything here. I don't know what you're talking about. By the way, did you see that January 6th happened? January 6th. For fuck's sake. All right. Next up on the docket, Jack. Domestic extremist bill would criminalize free speech, create Ministry of Truth. Advocates group warns. They're gonna get us this Ministry of Truth. They're gonna push it through.
Oh, they're trying so fucking hard.
Washington Attorney General concerned by anti-government ideologies, extreme white supremacy. Extreme white supremacy.
Yeah, not just regular one, but like extreme MAGA white supremacy.
It's got extra nacho cheese on it.
Yeah, and it's evil Republican nacho cheese.
A bill pushed by Washington's Attorney General would criminalize free speech and lead to an Orwellian Ministry of Truth under the guise of preventing domestic terrorism, according to a regional think tank. This bill would create a two-tier justice system where some people have free speech and others don't. Well, in fairness, none of us would have free speech because you'd only be allowed to say what they say you can say.
Yeah.
Once free speech has been breached, there is no some people are more free. You could say the same stupid shit they say, and they're still not allowed to say what you really believe. There's no putting that genie back in the bottle. It fucks everybody. Some of them are just willing to play along so that they don't get in trouble, or they actually believe that ideological nonsense.
Yeah, until it affects them, they don't care about other people.
Yep. And then look at what happened with Jim Acosta. How pissed off they all got over Jim Acosta. He's going to have to go in there every day and write his name down.
Oh no.
That is an unfair burden on the press.
Oh, it's so horrible.
They all acted like that was the worst thing possible. And it was literally just he was going to have to sign it in every day. That's it. He was going to get a temporary badge every day instead of his automatic badge.
But he's been there so long. He's earned it, monkey. They're being disrespectful to a voice that's been there forever or something.
And some of those same people who threw fits over that are now going, Tucker Carlson needs to be taken off the air for good because he said stuff I don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking retarded. Anyway, sorry, this bill would create a two-tiered justice system where some people have free speech and others don't. And that is a dangerous path for us to be set on. Liv Fien, fine, sure, director of education at the Washington Policy Center, told Fox News. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson's office released a 31-page report last year with recommendations on preventing domestic extremism. Now, a bill establishing a commission tasked with building upon the report and creating a first-of-its-kind public health approach to proactively fighting misinformation and early signs of radicalization is making its way through the state legislature. You literally can't do this. I mean, you can, but it is the very definition of unconstitutional.
Well, they've been pissing all over that lately, denying people their Sixth Amendment rights. Why wouldn't they do this?
Now, look, a platform like YouTube can tell me I can't say things on their platform. I disagree with it. I think they need to open that bullshit up, but they can do that. The state of Michigan can't. So, like, if I say something on here that, let me see, like if I come on here and say my governor is a murderous twat, they can't stop me from saying that. And that'll lead to extremism. Don't you know she almost got kidnapped one time?
Yeah, by the FBI.
By the FBI, yeah. Like, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. She is a murderous twat. She killed a whole bunch of people and got away with it. Nobody even questions the bitch on it.
Yep.
It's not illegal for me to say that. And if that radicalizes somebody, that's not my fault. I'm not telling anybody to do anything radical. In fact, we've told people the opposite, Jack.
Yeah, we've lost viewers because of it too.
Yeah. Calm your asses down. You don't have to fight over everything. Have the fight in the right way.
I'd like to point out we warned people not to go to January 6th rally.
Yes, many times. Specifics on how the state might prevent radicalization and extremism are scarce in both the bill and the Attorney General's report. Well, just tell people they can't talk, Jack.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is even if they pass this, they know it'll take a couple of years to get through the court system, and they're hoping to have stacked the court by then anyway. But they know they'll have a few years where they can crush speech and disincentivize people. So even if it does get repealed, a lot of people are going to be so disenfranchised by watching others go to jail. They're going to just avoid talking about things because they don't want to run the risk that it'll stay in effect.
We want to figure out how to prevent it before it happens, because once the violence happens, everybody's going to suffer the consequences. Representative Bill Ramos, who introduced SHB 1333 with the support of nearly 24 Democrats, told King 5. While SHB 1333 itself would not criminalize any speech or association, Fine said that it is the natural next step of the commission, which is supposed to identify existing legal options and potentially new legislation for addressing extremism. Short of stopping people's speech, if you're saying that that's what's causing the problem, what can you do? What would be the other options there, Jack?
I think what they'll start doing before they can criminalize the speech is they'll start creating manifests and lists of people that have wrong ideas, and they'll investigate them for anything they can, and they'll find something illegal. This is a registry of sorts.
It's a slippery slope is what it is.
Oh, it's absolutely a slippery slope. It's downright communistic. This is the type of shit Stasi would do. And we're seeing more and more crap like this coming out of our elected officials that don't care about the rights of the people to disagree with them. Because any disagreement is white supremacy now.
Yeah.
So it's all about creating dockets and dossiers on people so they can start looking into them and intimidating them into shutting up. It's not necessarily about one individual. It's about everybody that will see that individual persecuted and say, I don't want that to happen to me. And they will shut up.
It's kind of disturbing, really. I'm seeing way too many of our elected officials, and on the federal level, this was, a statewide level, but on the federal level, watching that thing the other day, the number of them like hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. That one guy, that absolutely should be taken down. It's hate speech. You're a member of the fucking government, and you just said that out loud.
Yeah.
The First Amendment's not that hard to read. It's really not. It won't even take you any time. Just go read it. Anyhow, so what happens if Twitter doesn't take it down? It should be taken down. Then what?
Well, then
I'm no government.
Going after Musk some more.
Yep. We'll make you pay.
Thank you, Keldrick. I haven't donated to you yet, Jack. I shall rectify that now. Well, thank you, Keldrick.
Wow. Men in Scotland who loudly... What's that? I'm sorry?
I told you it's been a busy day in the news.
Men in Scotland who loudly boast about sexual conquests in public could face jail. Oh, letting women speak was a mistake.
Yeah.
Men who loudly discuss their sexual conquests in public could face up to 7 years in jail under criminalized misogyny in Scotland, under plans to criminalize misogyny in Scotland.
Scotland used to be really cool.
Scotland's gone like full on woke, man. They're broken. A consultation published by the SNP government proposes creating 5 new laws designed to outlaw abusive and humiliating male behavior, which is claimed stops women fully participating in society. Under the new offense of misogynistic behavior, it would not be necessary for an offender to directly address a woman to be found guilty under the plan. Instead, they could watch pornography where others could see it or have loud, graphic sexual conversations about women in public places where it can be heard by others. Jesus Christ. They're taking that retarded shit from work and putting it out into the public.
Yep.
Can't talk about that at work. It might offend somebody. Well, fire that little bitch. Get somebody in here who isn't so easily offended, for fuck's sake. Now, Scotland, you guys are fucked, man. They're just going to take away all your rights to speak. You know that. That's coming, right? Especially you men. Meanwhile, and then they wonder why people like Andrew Tate get a following.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you try and reinstitutionalize the feudal system, which is what they're doing. There's an elite class and a subclass, and all you peasants need to shut the fuck up.
And in this case, the peasants, that's you men.
Yeah. If you're not a protected class, then you are not among the elite, and you need to shut up. Exactly, Stevie. Ruling class versus are the protected class versus the nobodies, and you need to be quiet if you're not on the progressive stack. And they're desperate over there to have free speech, I think, and they need some. They need a constitution. We should send them a copy of ours.
Tyra, thank you so much. I met someone who came from the left. He struggled to be able to convey his thoughts while trying to not offend me. There were times when he stated or started to say something and shifted gears. This language cult has messed people up. Yeah.
He's working exactly as intended. People self-censor, and you can't have a conversation with someone that way because either they're going to hyperventilate with anxiety because they're so upset by what you're saying, or they're terrified they're going to be in trouble.
Did you see that chick the other day? She's been in some movie. I don't remember who she is. Blonde chick who explained that she's left the movie business because her last boss that she worked for, one of her bosses she worked for, had his assistant ask her if they would be in a threesome with her, and she was just like, "This is my boss." I'm so terrified by that. Like he didn't force you into it. There were no ill repercussions for saying no, and you were so traumatized by a man just asking that you had to completely leave the business.
Well, did she say no?
Yeah, she said no. She said no. There was no threesome. There was no repercussions, but that was just the. Oh, I didn't feel safe.
Well, it's gross, but that's Hollywood for you.
Yeah.
Casting couch has been real since the beginning.
Pretty inappropriate, though. See, I disagree. This is where me and people get into arguments all the time. I don't think sexual relations between people at work is a bad thing.
I think it's a terrible idea.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's not a bad thing.
No, I tend to think it's very unprofessional. We disagree on this, but it is what it is.
I think that we built this country quite well when locker room talk was fine, when people did meet at work and end up married. And I think this notion that I think we're destroying each other by not allowing it and by being so overly fucking sensitive over people. Oh my God, you asked me out and you said no, and I didn't say anything else, and I'm going to go fuck that girl instead.
Well, see, that part I don't necessarily have a problem with, but the problem is that there's so many Karens that are listened to these days that they find and extrapolate things out to be much worse than they are. And sometimes dudes patting chicks on the butt's probably not appropriate at work.
I'm not saying you put your hands on anybody. But I also don't think it's like the worst thing in the world. If I'm walking past some chick and she's like, "Nice ass," I'm like, "Thank you," and I just keep going with my day. I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she said nice ass." Oh no.
It's rarely the women doing that, and chicks can't compete.
Hey,
so
look, no offense to anybody else out there. I use that as an example because it's a real thing that I have a nice ass.
That's so modest.
There's this thing out there. Men don't get complimented, and we don't get complimented as much as women. I do get complimented. I'm a nice looking man.
Well, my broader point being that women can't compete in the workplace with that sort of thing because they're apparently fragile little snowflakes. So we should just kick them out of the workforce.
I think men and women at this point, if we're going to keep down this road, men and women should be separated in the workplace.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Because women, like, we can hang with the guys, and then they come in and they change everything about the way guys do stuff.
Yeah.
It's offensive. He's got a calendar up, and the woman's got her titties out.
She'll just be in a bikini, and it won't
Well,
even be
look away. Don't look at it.
No. This is why we need separation of the genders. It's for the benefit of all.
And for the record, at least last time I worked, Jack, Most of the women weren't like that. It's a handful of like you Karens, these little bitches who are looking for a problem.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. When I worked at Walmart, the shit that I heard from the women that I sat with is worse than any fucking locker room talk I've ever had. Fucking seriously graphic shit. But let a man say that and watch how they react.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's different. A man did it.
Thank you, Donald Camp, who says, "Here, take my money, you pretty, pretty man." Hi, Jack.
Hi, Donald.
Thank you for that feminist $12, my friend. In addition, a new offense of stirring up hatred against women and girls could be deployed against incel male supremacist blogger or Andrew Tate style. You're the reason Andrew Tate is out there, you fucking idiots. Andrew Tate style online personalities who make inflammatory remarks about the opposite sex. Are there Scottish police forces online on Twitter?
Probably. I don't
Because
know, they might be afraid of this.
One of my favorite pastimes is going to the different English ones that are on there. And when they're telling the English that they can't say things, tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Manchester police have me muted.
Yeah, I fuck with them all the time because it's funny.
Yeah, because they're a bunch of babies.
And I just want to go to, if this gets passed, go to one of the Scottish police departments and tell them that all the women that work for them are dirty fucking whores.
That reminds me, did you see that tweet the NYPD put out from one of their shittier districts? They took an airsoft gun off the streets and they were bragging about it.
I did not.
I was like, you guys don't have any crime in your precinct. You should be defunded. Give that someone. You have subway rapes and murders, and you assholes are bragging about taking a shitty airsoft rifle off the market. Fuck you.
Hey, Jack, somebody could have lost an eye.
Well, that's a risk you take, isn't it?
Somebody could have lost an eye. They're keeping the people safe. Fuck this shit, man. Stop doing this. Men, for the love of all that's holy, find your balls and learn to tell women no. Okay? If you want to be more professional, look, I know I've lost that argument. We got to be more professional. Fine, be fucking professional. Don't be goddamn pussies where you give up your right to speak in public. If some bitch hears you talking about some whore you plowed the night before and she gets offended, tell her to go fuck herself.
Tell her to stop listening in on your fucking conversations.
And any of the gentlemen out there who are like, but I'm on their side. You can go fuck yourself too. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Thank you, Tyride Deos. As a female, during the first half of my deployment, I was the only woman and the atmosphere was chill. When the two guys were swapped with two women, the two women had to lift their legs and claim everything. This made the environment suck. Yeah, there's always somebody that's got to ruin it. And that's the problem is if you say anything now, you're getting sued or fired. Probably both.
Yeah, men, stop letting women do this shit. Oh my God. I just saw who it was. I didn't look at the stuff that's written. Why do you do this to me?
It's funny.
All right, let's get that up so nobody else can read it. It says borrowing a bar of someone's soap that's been in their bum. English people, what the fuck are you doing with soap? It's not supposed to go in there.
Don't get ahead of the video.
How slippery was it? Okay, all right.
Borrowing a bar of someone's soap that's been in their bum.
In their bum?
Like
how are you guys using soap at your house?
In and around your bum and your nethers.
Oh,
you know,
around.
zones.
I don't know about in.
But like when you're soaping yourself up, do you, Ryan?
You lather up your hands and then use your hands.
What?
How are you using soap?
The fact that that's a revelation to her.
I know.
Well, okay.
use a bar of soap.
Is that how you know it?
Oh my God.
What have you been doing?
Oh my God.
You've been putting the soap. Don't make. Oh.
I didn't need the visual.
I know, right? The visual does add to it, though.
She's shocked that you don't actually have to rub the soap. Does she know what a wash rag is?
Don't think so. I mean, if she didn't know enough that you could lather your hand up, she's. You don't want to blow her mind all at once, monkey. She might go comatose on you.
Do they not have loofahs over there?
I guess not. These are Aussies so proud right now, as you should be, Dangerous.
Fuck. Do you not wash this? Rinse the soap off when you're done? I
Apparently
have
she
so many
doesn't.
questions about this was Australia.
Yeah.
Sorry, English people. I hit it on you guys earlier. It said bum, and I hadn't heard him talk yet. That's my bad. By the way, it's called an ass, y'all.
I believe it's an arse. Thank you.
No. It's an ass.
No, an ass is a type of mule.
Stop using that weird British language. I hear it's colonizing. You don't want to be colonized, do you?
What's she look like?
That chick.
No, I do not. I washed myself with a rag on a stick. Exactly.
Even if she's is washing another reason by actually jamming soap there, don't you get it in your pee hole? Never mind.
I don't know what she's doing, but it's the wrong way of doing it.
Why don't you rinse the soap when you're done? Would you just leave okay, I'm not meaning to be gross here, but you got skid marks on your soap?
There's some dingleberries on there. It's some pubes.
Oh. Just rinse the fucking soap off. It's soap. It'll be okay.
Oh, yeah. Dangerous is correcting you. It is pronounced colonizing in this case.
Fair enough. Son of a bitch. I can't believe her mind was blown like that. That woman looks to be at least in her 20s.
Yeah, but it looked like a legitimate thing, not a setup.
Yeah.
I thought the reaction looked honest. So
it does, yeah.
I
mind.
think she really did just come to that revelation right there, where he's like, "You don't have to jam that in there."
Yeah, her mind was truly blown. Huh. All right. Australians, if nobody told you, you don't have to jam the soap up your ass, and you can clean it when you're done.
Yeah, and you probably should not jam the soap up your ass.
If you have skid marks or dingleberries on your soap, rinse it off. They'll go away.
Yeah, we all respect a good clinch game, but don't stick the soap between your cheeks.
Oh my God. I'm not in favor of bidets, but I think in this case, this woman probably needs it just to get the rinsing proper.
Yeah, because if she's jamming the whole soap bar up there, she probably isn't rinsing out.
Yeah, she got soapy lips.
Well, I mean, those things haven't seen the sun in a long time. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up on soapy lips tonight. I won't be doing a game stream, but I do want to thank y'all for coming and hanging out. I'm sorry that I didn't let anybody know I wasn't doing a show yesterday. Sometimes it's just not possible. I apologize. Thank you for all the donations. You guys are so fucking cool. Really, really do appreciate it. Jack, anything you want to show?
Yeah, I'll drop some links to some cool stuff. As always, thank you so much for the donations. And thanks for all the support you guys give us. It is greatly appreciated.
We will be back here hopefully tomorrow at a more normalized time. Thank you, Comrade Kibby. Biden moment, sorry. Thank you, Comrade Kitty. Brings new meaning to dropping the soap. Never mind. There's so many visuals going through my head. I'm just going to let that go. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links already. But Dangerous said that was from Tony and Ryan. It's an Australian podcast. So if you want to see an elaboration on that nightmare, you can look them up.
I'm good. That's enough for me. This woman was shocked that you could wash yourself with I'm so confused.
Hmm.
I have so many other cleaning questions for her now.
I don't want to know the answers to them, honestly.
Well, like, how does she clean dishes?
By rubbing them on her hoo-ha? I don't know. I don't know. There's no good answer to any question I have for her because it'll all be nightmare fuel. Seems there's been enough elaboration already. You're not wrong, man.
This is yeah. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Hi Star, Omega gave you a shout out. It's awesome because Star is awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
I'm always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I would just like to say, fuck the FBI.